More than 1,000 people have been trafficked across the sea from France and 21 miles across the English Channel to the UK in a single day this week. That's broken the previous record. And the government is saying that the British people have had enough. Well, probably they're right. But I'll explain more in my podcast today. Just to explain who I am, my name is Charles Kelly. I'm the author of the book, Yes, Money Can Buy You Happiness. And previously I was a recruitment agency. I had my own business recruiting thousands of people from places like the Philippines, India, China, Africa, Europe, to come and work in the UK, mainly in the care industry. We did some in the hospitality industry, and also students coming to study here. But all of those people came in legally. We did the paperwork, we got work permits, we got visas, student visas, and all the rest of it. But this is a very different situation that's happening now, which is kind of taking you back right to sort of 9/11, and then the bombings in Syria, Iraq, Libya, and this has destabilized the whole region and caused millions of people to just march across the UK. Now, as I said, an estimated 1,000 people made that journey in small boats across the English Channel. And normally this takes place in the summer. We're entering into the winter season now, and they're still coming in. And the French government and the French officials, the French Navy and the border officials are saying, bon voyage, go to England. Yes, they'll treat you better than we will, and which is true. And people are getting a bit fed up with it. Now, this could be the highest ever total. The previous record was 853 on the 3rd of November. And the Home Office spokesperson said the number of illegal migrants have been seen departing from France today is unacceptable. But then you might say, what are they doing about it? Well, apparently border officials have ignored Priti Patel, who's the Home Secretary's instruction to block these boats in the sea. And instead they're sort of helping them in. They're towing boats in. We've got the RNLI, which is the lifeboat charity, which is run by volunteers who give up their spare time to rescue people who've got in trouble at sea. But normally they would expect, maybe one call out a day, a couple of weeks, when a sailing boat gets stuck somewhere and maybe their sails are broken and they call out, or they've had engine problems. They're not there to go daily and rescue people that know that there's a problem before they send these boats out with women, children, mostly men to be fair, and then rely on these charities to go and rescue them. So you can see these things on the TV, children wrapped in blankets, and you've got to feel sorry for these people. But they've been trafficked across the sea by illegal gangs. They're selling all they have to come across here, and we're into, as I said, the winter season. The seas are getting rougher. The English Channel is one of the busiest shipping lanes in the world, with tankers going across you. So you imagine you're in this little boat and you're trying to dodge tankers who are then causing all that wash in the water and further waves. It's not an easy place to cross. So apparently this year now 22,300 people have made it into the UK. That's broken the record. It's doubled the record from the previous year, and that was the whole year. We're not even ending the year yet. So I don't know what's going to happen. And those people are in that once they're here, they're very rarely sent back. I don't think anybody's sent back. They just claim asylum and they're put into hotels and given money. And that is the attraction of coming here. Whereas in other countries, they're put into sort of camps and kept there. In Australia, they're kept on an island somewhere in a camp, and that they can't wait to get home. But here, it's very different. Now, this is despite the Home Secretary, Priti Patel, saying that this crossing would become an infrequent phenomenon by the spring of 2020, and then pledged in August last year to make this route unviable. It hasn't happened. It's got worse, and this is despite the British government paying France, yes, listen to this, £54 million to help with border controls. The French, we know they don't give a toss, do they? They just say, yes, bon voyage, au revoir, have a nice journey, see, go to Britain. Yes, that's what the French are like. They do that. When migrants go to Italy, they give them train tickets to go across Europe to get to the UK. We know this is true. Now, so that's one crisis going on. Another crisis going on is that the migrant crisis on the Polish border. Now, this is where you've had this really strange situation of people coming from, say, Syria, and then ended up in Belarus, right, which is on the Polish border near Russia, a former Russian colony. And how the hell do they get across all the way to Belarus and then looking to enter into Poland, which is a member of the European Union? And then once they're in the European Union, they're home and dry. Well, I'll tell you how. They've actually been trafficked again by travel agents who've brought them into Turkey. And then from Turkey, they've applied for a visa and got visas to go into Belarus. And Belarus know that they're not going to stay in Belarus because Belarus said we can't even afford to feed them on the border. And yet they've been brought into Belarus, flown in from Turkey, marched to the border and saying, right, bon voyage, goodbye, there's Poland, go there. And then from Poland they go into Germany, France, UK, whatever. And this is thousands of them. And thousands of people have turned up on the border, and Poland have said, look, enough is enough. So now they put these barbed wire fences all across the border, and they've put even troops there. They've put 12,000 army reserves have been sent to the border to protect the borders. You've got these scenes of the army sort of spraying people who are trying to break down the fences, and people are like hacking away at the fences and threatening. They're saying, we're not going home, we're going into your country, you're not going to stop us, we're not going home. So they've camped out there in cold weather because it's getting cold up there. It's already probably 0 degrees at night, and it's a big standoff. We don't know what's going to happen. Germany's got involved. They've said, that Poland is right to stop them. Poland has said it's the Russians, the old pesky Russians again. It's a plot to destabilise the EU. Well, the Russians must be involved because Russia virtually control Belarus. And it's interesting that, these people have been allowed to come into Belarus on a visa, knowing that they're just going to be marched off into Poland. And it's a terrible situation for the people involved. Some of the people interviewed on Russian television news said, they'd sold everything they had. They'd got to Turkey, a travel agent brought them there. They got the visas. They spent thousands getting these visas, and now they're here. And they also said that previously their relatives and friends had made the crossing and got into Poland. So now they want to do the same. But Poland has said, look, enough is enough, because this is it's not just a few people, this is thousands. So, and what's happening here is a combination of two things. One, we have climate change, we have massive economic change, plus the destruction of the economies in the Middle East, in Syria, Afghanistan, Iraq. And this has prompted millions of people to effectively force their way into the West by literally marching across Europe, or sometimes going by car, by train, by plane in some cases. And they've given up on the usual legal means of getting into the country, like my migrants did when I brought them into the UK, and just said, look, we're not going to, we can't apply for asylum. Some of these countries don't even have embassies anymore if they're war-torn places, so they can't really apply for asylum. So they're marching into the UK. But really, they should be applying for asylum in the first country they enter, not marching their way across 15 countries to get to the border and then jump on a boat to the UK and they say, asylum. It's just all wrong. But the crisis is going to escalate. Word is spreading, obviously, through the internet, through smartphones, that this is what they're doing. And we've never seen a crisis like this. We've never seen this mass movement of people across Europe. I think it started off when the German Chancellor, Angela Merkel, said, I think about 10 years ago now, she said, yes, come into Germany, we'll look after you. And I think 1 million people entered Germany at that time. And that sort of really started it, I think. That seems to be what's happened. But someone is obviously making a lot of money out of this. Hotels, people have been put into hotels. Maybe landlords are providing temporary accommodation. Lawyers, of course, and the people who make thousands of pounds shipping them across the sea in small boats. And apparently now they're now looking to order bigger boats from Turkey with big engines that can carry up to 200 people, and not just like the 30 or 40, but 200 people a time. And that's going to really up the ante. So we shall have to see what happens there. It's a massive crisis. And it's not stopping, even though we're in the winter. Now, you can look at some of my other articles here on, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, or whatever. Please like and share the content so that other people can get free content. And do look at some of my articles. And if you want to order the book, you can get that on Amazon. And if you're looking to learn more about how to become financially free, then do look at my free training, which I'll put a link up to here. Thanks for listening. Have a great weekend.